No audio from me. Classic. Luckily, I was just yapping. What did I say? I said, hi, everyone. There's no reason for my blue skin. It's just blue because I like it that way. I've always thought that blue-skinned demons and deities and things look cool. And yes, I said, welcome to the stream, my fine magician friends. Now, I think I came down here in between streams because I wanted to upgrade my weapon. And I need more moonshade stones to do that. But I think that's going to be the thing that helps me more at this stage than putting points into my stats. So I will return to the Nexus. They are blue for an amazing reason. The amazing reason is I want to be. Oh, look who it isn't.
Wow, I remember you. Well, I'm glad you're here. I found some really tasty trinkets. Well,
I think with the new facial animation this game has, it's more clear that often the characters aren't looking at you when they're talking.
Well, do as you please. But you may...
Now, at the end of last stream, I was struggling with Shrine of Storms. I think I'm going to change tack and try Upper Latria instead. Because I'll be able to get Moonshade Stones and upgrade my weapon more, which will benefit me. Now, I think I talked about it again. The end of last stream, or at the end of one of the streams, I pointed out that in Latria, they've changed the feel of it quite a lot in Upper Latria. These red banners used to be yellow in the original because they are meant to be a symbol of the old monk who wears a yellow, like a gold robe. It's now very orange and teal, which is a color scheme that once you see it, you can't not notice it. Hello, the readiest. Yes, you can try and fight me if you have demon souls. Otherwise, we may need to arrange a time and a place to meet on the field of battle in a fighting game. But welcome to the stream. Good to have you. You are the readiest, but are you ready to face me in the Ring of Honor? Ask yourself that. I'm getting distracted. I am ready, not readiest. What? What? You are the ready-est. What was I talking about? I don't know. But yeah, Latria is one of my favorite levels in Demon Souls, and it does sort of annoy me how much they decided to change it in this remake. Because, you know, I have to, like, hand it, you know, being positive, I got told off on Twitter for being too negative about this game. And so to be positive, I do think the lighting and the textures and the worlds and stuff, it's all very, very nicely crafted. It all looks very nice. Ow. Wow, they hit pretty hard. But yeah, I think the graphics of the remake are really well crafted. It's just the art direction really, they changed so many things about the art direction and have seemingly made some like strange choices, like or just like choices that bring it more in line with other games, which I think robs it a little bit of its uniqueness. I'm not too keen on. What are these guys weak to? Fire? Not very. Very weak to anything. I might need to level up my magic more before I... Yeah, these enemies aren't going down as easily as I was hoping, so we might have to go to Stonefang instead, get some souls by fighting there. We can get Moonshade stones from Stonefang as well. Though I did already title my stream that I was going to take on Upper Latria, so let's stick with the plan for now. Stick with the plan. Oh good, I have Chris Blade, which boosts my spell damage. Yeah, it does more damage to them. But how are we all doing? In spite of myself, I have been enjoying this replay and this revisit to Demon Souls. Mainly because of you guys coming and chatting with me about it. It's been interesting hearing other people's thoughts on the remake, and also it's interesting seeing how many people have played, gone back and played the original. That helps me. That's exactly one of the things I wanted. Unknown hero soul. Oh, he's noticed me. Yeah, can't get in here yet. Silk, I'm enjoying watching you play through it. Yeah, I mean, I hope you're able to experience it vicariously, because I have obviously made my stance clear. I'm not very fond of this remake in general. But I think Souls games have such a good core to them that they're fun to play and watch, even when they're not, even when Well, that's kind of an interesting point, I guess, because I was doing some more reading today about this remake, and I found a really interesting quote from Gavin Moore, who directed this remake. See if I can find. Where was it? Yes, here we go. So here's a quote from Gavin Moore. "When we're doing a remake, we identify what the core of the game is and what's most important to that game." That sounds like really reasonable. Like that's sort of what you want to do, is preserve the essence of the game. But then he goes on to say, "And for us with Demon Souls, that has to be the gameplay and the logic and the AI." Now, those are exactly what I would have said are not the core of Demon Souls. Those are exactly not what I would call the core of the Souls experience. In most of the games, I would say that the core of the experience is the world and the atmosphere, and the feelings you experience, the emotions you experience as you play through. The moment-to-moment mechanical act of playing the game, the core of it, the gameplay core, is obviously enjoyable, but it's not what I call, or what I would consider the core of the game. And I think with Demon Souls, like the environments, like the world, and a lot of the level layouts and stuff, all of that is so good that even having been sort of altered and changed in this remake, it's still quite a good game, I would say, in spite of those changes. Now, yes, this is a difficult one. The rune blade and the rune bad time for rolling. Yes, the rune equipment that Ostrava uses is not obtainable that way. Silk, yeah, I think that's how I would describe it. It's interesting in that it's not a bad game to play, and it's not a bad game. It's not it's not so vile that it has no redeeming qualities. It's just that it's a different, and in my opinion, lesser version of something we already had. Now, I know some people might disagree and say that they prefer this version, and that's fine. I don't hold it against anyone who prefers this to the original per se. But what I do think is a shame is that, if you were looking for a remake, this isn't necessarily just like the same game with a different coat of paint. It is fundamentally changed some of the stuff that I thought was core to the experience. So it does feel like a different game to me. And it's a shame that this has become somewhat the sort of definitive edition of the game, the definitive version, when it is so different. Now I'm going to try and get that rune thing, because it's really hard to get it, and I want it. But I'm only going to try a couple more times. See, this is another. This was always quite hard to do in the original, but it's harder in this game because I think you have like a pill-shaped hitbox in this game. In the remake, so you end up getting deflected off the edge like that a lot more frequently than you used to. And that makes it very difficult to get items like that one that require you to sort of like walk off an edge. I don't know if I run whether it's any easier. And the reason why it's not so bad to be dying here over and over again is because although these guys don't drop many souls, they do drop soul items, which you can then, crack to gain souls. So Latria is kind of an interesting one in that even if you die and lose all your souls, you're not completely... you haven't completely lost everything. How'd this person die? They're like trying to walk really slowly off the edge. Is there any more advice on how we can roll off here and get the thing I want? Uh-oh. It almost looks like there's a platform here that I could roll to. Right, but it's behind a kill field. Okay. Rip. Yeah. Give it another couple of tries. The rune sword and rune shield that Ostrava use aren't all that useful to me because I believe they are faith scaling, and I'm a man of little faith. Of no faith, you could say. Yeah, I actually have I have 12 faith, but not as much faith as I have magic. I also like the way this game, in Dark Souls, faith and intelligence. Faith increases your miracle damage and gives you more slots to attune miracles with, and I think intelligence increases your magic scaling and your magic damage. And I think gives you more slots that you can put magic spells in. In this game, it doesn't kind of pose intelligence and magic and intelligence and faith as like opposites. Intelligence is what gives you your mana, which you use to cast miracles and spells, but then magic and faith are your magic and miracle damage scaling, respectively. But it's not kind of, I always thought it was a bit funny in Dark Souls that it sort of, makes you feel like, oh, people who have faith aren't necessarily very intelligent. Feels like a bit of an insult. Ooh, I don't think I want to roll, though, do I? Oh, bad time for rolling. How do I walk off here, then, and get that item? Can I... perhaps... Oh, I chickened out. I chickened out. I'm really puzzled about how to do this. I remember struggling a lot with this. Oh, there we go. Right, yeah, I'm just going to give up on this one. It's not an important item for me. Backstepping. Okay, I could give it one more go. I don't think that helps as much as you'd think either. Yeah, I struggled to get that item in the original as well, because it is a difficult item to get, but it feels like it's way harder in this game because of the pill-shaped hitbox. You tend to get deflected away a lot more as you walk off the edge. So I'll give it one more go, and then I'll move on with the rest of the level. How far back do I go when I... Ooh, it worked. Just. I feel like I was very close to falling off the edge, but good shout, Silk. You deserve plenty of good boy points for that one. And now we are free to... I'm a genius. Indeed you are. We're free to continue with the rest of the level. I'm going to mostly be blasting these guys with magic because I don't think my weapon is particularly strong against them. Ooh, the spiral rapier. That's a good weapon. Forgot he shoots you. Sign of Zeta. Oh, nice. I didn't know where to get those. What, the rune sword and rune shield? Yes, I think you can also get it from Ostrava if you kill him. But if you don't feel like doing that, get it there. Which is nice and early. You only have to beat Latria 1-1. Well, not going to collect that. Oh shit. I ran out of magic. They are quite dangerous because they can hit me very hard. I don't know what that is or whether it's worth risking my life for, but why not? Age Spice, not really worth the risk. IMO. Although, that said... I will take some. Now, I know one of them lands either ahead of you or behind you, or tries to. See you later. Yeah, there we go. He's tried to land behind me. Cheeky. Whew. Worried he was going to hit me off the edge for a second there. Don't know why. But it's very peculiar to me that they changed so much of the atmosphere of Latria. Like I mentioned before, in Lower Latria, the sound of the insects is gone, and a lot of the sound mixing is very different in Lower Latria. In Upper Latria, they've almost made it like feel like a storm is going on, which I think it is. I think you can see like lightning in the horizon. I can even hear like thunder and lightning in the background. Tower down. Now I think it's not here, it's the other tower, but in pure white world tendency. Oh, maybe it is this tower. Yeah, in pure white world tendency, this is mended, and you can walk across here and get higher up. And I think that's where Ridiel's corpse is. And yes, here we... Okay, so I can go down these lifts. I'll send one of them down. I'll not send both of them down. I think these other lifts down here have a yurt. Yurt the Silent Chief. It was a really fun character, and I do like that in Dark Souls, they redesigned him so that you wouldn't necessarily recognize him and see that he's the same kind of bad guy, but he is this game's Lautrec. If you take him back to the Nexus, he will start killing people.
Are you here to fight the demons? If so, then help me escape this place. I am on your side. I have come to face the demons.
He says. Now I want to wait for him to be lined up with the edge.
Thank you. I will remember this. I am certain we will meet again.
So I'd rather not fight him in the Nexus if I can... Oh, hang on. I want to wait for him to... Right. Fuck. Well, it's fine. I can do it that way. I wanted to kick him off the edge, but I pressed the wrong button, I think. I pressed R2. Now, his armor is extremely heavy and would normally... Yeah, I'm at 73% equip load, which would normally be a big problem. But I can just teleport it all back to the Nexus, because... Why not? And there we go. Back down to 43 equip load. It feels so cheap being able to do that, honestly. I really like the look of his armor in the original. Yes, me too, Zeta. I don't usually wear it because I feel like heavy armor is really difficult to play this game with. I think you need to be sort of like fast rolling. There's only 2 tiers of roll speed in this game. Now, I think giving these things like gross noises they make is like a whatever kind of change. What I don't like is how in the original these monsters' faces look like they're made out of stone. They're demons that have been created to have the faces.
2 Gs of rolling around at the speed of sound.
Exactly. In the original, these things are demons that have been created to look like, or also to trap the souls of people. They look in pain and they look agonized. They still do look in pain and agonized here, but they're all fleshy rather than sort of made out of stone. And I think, you know, that sort of gives the impression that these creatures aren't just sort of like the souls of people trapped. It's almost like they've been mutated and I don't know, like somehow physically squashed together. Which I think, you know, it is a change that I don't really understand. But look how big these things' heads are. How massive their skulls are compared to mine. Like, these people must have been enormous if they really were like, you know, people that have been like mashed together through some kind of like evil spell. In the original, you didn't get the sense that their faces were actual ever human faces. They were just they were human faces, but they weren't like people that had been like mashed together. It looked more like they were souls that had been trapped in these kind of demonic creations. I thought it was a more arresting look for them, and also the fact that their faces were trapped in these sort of like these very static, groaning looking faces. It was very, I don't know, very kind of haunting in a way that I don't think now. They're just sort of generic like bug monster things that are all fleshy and have multiple heads. And they also make these kind of insect monster noises rather than they used to kind of groan like people. Yes. They have Glinner-sized heads, yeah, and they make noises like Glinner does, which is another perhaps reason why I'm not as fond of this redesign. Now the swamp out there's some fairly decent items, I think, but I'll go and fetch those in between times because none of them are that important for me right now. And there's an enemy that can hurt me quite a lot out there that I don't really want to tangle with right now. I mean, as said before, yeah, Glinner to me looks like the Aoi Oni demon. And he pulls that face like whenever someone takes a photograph of him, completely unprompted, it seems. Ow. Grass. Damn. Are there any enemies that can't hurt you quite a lot?
Is this story based? Not this time.
Not this time. There are a few enemies that aren't that much of a threat to you. I think a lot of the ones here are quite threatening though. And yeah, no, those big The demon I'm thinking of is the big pile of arms with all the swords, and the reason I'm scared of it is because if you fight it in a swamp, you can't dodge roll out the way of its like spell. Makes it a lot more threatening, and you can't easily like walk in and out of its attack range either. I'm gonna have so many souls when this is over with. 500 newspaper articles about how Glinner is locked in the Tower of Latria just for standing up for women's rights. Yeah, him breaking down, crying, saying, they turned me into a demon. The TRAs, they turned me into a demon. That one dies in 2 magic blasts. I don't know why. Whoops. Wrong item. Yeah, I don't know why, but I've just been reminded of that, like, execrable Atlantic article about feminine boys being transed. And it is just a case of, like, other feminine boys in the room with us now. The guy who wrote it does not look that femme. I don't believe that he's, you know, maybe he's expressed some kind of feminine traits at some point in his life. But his book that he's chosen, you know, the front cover of his book is like a big muscly like marble statue. It's like, where's the effeminacy, bro? Speaking of, I've now taken the HRT that turns me into a cat because I am being catty. They took my musical. I love that one. That's an all-timer tweet. You know, how could you ever log off from Twitter when it's absolutely free and you get entertainment like that? See you later. How far he'll follow me? My character sounds so pressed. Hi there, Ellie. Welcome to the stream. We are indeed talking about the foulest demon of them all. Yeah, no, they took my musical is so good. He doesn't seem to understand that, like, the reason no one, like, voluntarily associates with him anymore is, you know, they've all made that choice. When 1 or 2 people, you know, don't want to hang out with you, that's, you know, fair enough. Maybe there's you know, someone said, when so many people all, you know, voluntarily and seemingly unprompted are like, nah, you're an arsehole. Like, maybe the problem's him, you know? Why aren't they dead? Also, why was that hitting both of them? I'm glad it did, but why? Artie Morty has the same grift where he claims he was a fairy boy. Everyone wants to force femme despite being a balding gnome. Yeah. I don't know why they're all pretending that. Like, they're all trying to make out like, you know, oh, if I'd grown up in this day and age, I would have been transed. Like, who are they kidding, really? Anyway, I could go on. I do not want to give them more brain space than I already have. Okay. That works for me too. Could you hear that, like, shrieking scream coming out of nowhere? That's just a complete, like... I don't think that was in the original at all. And I don't think, you know, you need to hear these, like, shrieking screams carrying on the wind to, you know, for this place to have the atmosphere that it I think already does, which is bleak and oppressive. Oh! Damn. Those guys have hands. Oh yes, they also took his Steam account, didn't they? Right. This is one of the annoying parts of the level where it's quite a long run to get back to where I was. Hello. Bye-bye. Because they don't give you many shortcuts up to this point. There will be a shortcut opening up once I've defeated that other tower, but for now, there's no quick way back where I was. I do just sort of have to walk all this way, I believe. But luckily a lot of the enemies here are quite slow and stupid, so it's not too difficult to avoid them. Ah! Nearly perfect timing. They've turned the Weans against us. Bleak and oppressive atmosphere, Swansea joke. You really don't like Swansea, huh? What a hike. Yeah, at the end of this level, are going to be the man-eaters, which I don't know that I'm high enough level to really take on. So I might need to do at a certain point is leave to go and upgrade my weapon at least. Okay. I commuted there every day by bus for 4 years for uni. I think I'm entitled to bitch about Swansea. Fair enough. Oh shit. See you later. I don't think I've ever been there. At least I can't remember. It's the wrong way. Even after all these years, I just walked the wrong way again. Even after all these years, I still get lost in Latria. Right, it's this way. Gotta be. Yes. Thank you. Right, let's try not to get killed by this guy this time. Probably means being a little bit more careful. You have the cloaking spell. May aid me. Fuck. There we go. You've had 3 health left. Now, there's a crystal lizard up here, but I'm going to do the cheeky trick. Crystal lizards. Which is where you... Whoa! Yourself. Clear out all the enemies and then reload the level. Ow! Whoa! Whoa! Oh! Okay, this is already not going very well. Pick a grass. Why did I roll backwards? I was holding the complete opposite direction, and I rolled backwards. Bloody hell. Yes, if you've never seen this trick before, this is how you can get crystal lizards to respawn. As long as you haven't hurt them, they don't decrement the counter spawns. They only spawn a set number of times, and as long as you don't Ah, he's not reappearing. Strange. Let's try back here. Did I complete Resident Evil 9 afterwards? I did, yes. I finished it, and I'm not a big fan of it, honestly. I think it's a bit of a nothing burger of a game. Like, it's very short. There's no... Well, this is one of the crystal lizards you can get a pure moonshade stone from, which is annoying that I can't get him to spawn. For some reason it's not working, but I'll puzzle about that one later. For now, yes, I did complete Resident Evil 9. Yeah, I was just a little bit disappointed by it, if I'm honest. It's very short. I kind of like both characters and both like gameplay styles, but
No crystal lizard for you.
no crystal lizard for me. But it does sort of feel like a bit of a schizophrenic game that it keeps switching backwards and forwards between these two like gameplay modes and styles. And I think it would be better off sticking with one or the other. But yeah, the story is just kind of like, it's fine. You know, the Leon content is there. But it's not like, you know, I don't know, it's not as interesting as Resident Evil 2 or 4. Leon does look very hot in it. You know, that is a huge plus in the game's favor. But even then, I would say that like it made me want to replay Resident Evil 4 Remake, which is what I did. I deleted it more or less as soon as I'd finished it, and reinstalled RE4. I considered going back to it and streaming it now that I'm finished with it, and I understand like a bit more how to play it. But yeah, like ultimately, I didn't, you know, it didn't grip me. I remember when I finished Resident Evil 4 for the first time, the first thing I wanted to do was immediately replay it. And I had the same thing with Resident Evil 8 as well. I finished it, and even though I didn't like Ethan Winters at all, I immediately wanted to revisit the game world and you know, get all the secrets and play it. Having played Resident Evil 8, I think I got pretty much every secret. There aren't that many of them on the first playthrough. I fully explored everywhere. I, you know, got all the items. I got all the guns. I, you know, fully upgraded everything on my first playthrough, and was just like, right, I'm sort of done with it now. I could play it on hard, and I could play it on insanity difficulty, but I just didn't feel any compulsion to. It didn't grip me and sort of demand my attention in the way that the other Resident Evil games have, which I think is just a huge shame. But yeah, I'm gonna trust my gut on this one and just be like, I don't think I'm gonna play it much more. Oh shit. Where did you come from? That's everyone, isn't it? Would you have preferred two campaigns? Yeah, honestly, I think I would have preferred it if it was two separate like stories that you choose who you want to play as and you play through their campaign, rather than switching backwards and forwards, which I felt meant that every time I felt like I was getting into the groove of things with one character, I'd be switched over to the other. You know, that big gross heart thing is dead. So yeah, I did. It's not that I didn't enjoy Resident Evil 9. I can't see myself returning to it in the future. Not in the same way that I regularly return to other Resident Evil games, because they're fun to play and they're fun to kind of go through and solve all the puzzles again. There were no real puzzles in RE9, and there was nothing I think that really warrants a second playthrough. I don't feel like I missed anything. I don't feel like avoid fall. Why? So yeah, it didn't leave me with as strong an opinion or a stronger feeling as other even Resident Evil 8. And I've got to say again, the plot is just sort of like, it's such a who cares, like. Eat all my fresh spices. I never really played the Dante's Inferno game. I think I played a demo of it, and I thought it looked like extremely sort of like meh. Was it good? Was it like secretly really good? I mean, secret to me it would have been. Really walked off the edge there. RE8's plot. Items being a quartered baby is darkly hilarious. Yeah, exactly. The key items being these kind of like jars with bits of Ethan's daughter in is really like grotesque and weird, but in a strangely sort of compelling way. And yeah, I think like, Resident Evil 8 had a lot of like, I don't know, puzzles and side bits where you wanted to go and play the game again to like get more treasure. And upgrade your weapons and stuff. I didn't like the way Resident Evil 8's weapons were just straight better. Like some of the later weapons in the game are just better than the early ones, no matter how much you upgrade them. Whereas in Resident Evil 4, it feels like more of a choice between which weapons you prefer. Yeah, it felt immediately like a game I wanted to replay and go and collect more treasure in. Oh god. Whereas 9 has not left me with that feeling. Weapon progression in 8 was really strange. Yeah, it's sort of just, you're better off just never spending any money upgrading your weapons and saving it all until you get the last guns and then using it on them because they're just better. Oh god. Lock on. Here we go. Dante's Inferno, the game. The book of the game of the book. They republished the poem with a new cover based on the game. That's incredible. Now, this is where you can get the gold set, I believe. Yes, the gold mask and the épée rapier. The épée rapier, I think, does fire damage. And Ring of Avarice. That's really good to have. Yes, the gold mask and the épée rapier are items associated with the Soul Society, who are like studying the soul arts. Mephistopheles is one of them, and Yurt is another, and they often have these like clothing that's like black and gold. It's very like striking appearance. Yeah, but like black and gold are like associated with the soul arts, I believe, in this game. And we can have a quick look at how the mask looks, because they've kind of gone with a Skyrim style look to it in this game. Can I not wear it? Why can I not wear it? Oh, I think it's for women only. Reserved for use by only the highest ranking members of the secret coterie who plot to harness the power of souls. Yeah, that's why I can't wear it. It's a gender-locked gold mask. The épée rapier. Yeah, it does fire damage. And looks really cool as well, I think. Although it's always confused me that dual-wielding rapiers in the Souls games, you do this thing where you hold the weapon with two hands, which is exactly what you wouldn't want to do with a rapier, or most one-handed swords, because it reduces the range at which you can strike. If you stand in a fencing pose and do a lunge, you can kind of extend your entire body and extend one arm straight out in front of you, and you get like a very long reach with a rapier or with an épée. If you hold it with two hands, now your arms, you can't turn your body sideways and stick one arm out to achieve quite the same distance. You instead can only reach just, both your arms in front of you. Silk, I'm waiting for the Moby Dick action game where you air combo sea creatures to save your husband, Queequeg. Well, Kojima has now made 3 games with references to Moby Dick in, so I think he's trying to do what you're angling at there. Argue about how effective his attempts are. Only level up once. That's upsetting.
Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. I am here.
I will break some souls so that I have more to level up with. Oh my god, 27 of these. That should let me level up 4 times. If I can get 2,000 more, I can third time. Oh. That'd be exciting.
Soul of the mind, key to life's ether.
There we go.
Soul of the lost, art thou? May thy strength.
Oops.
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch.
Now, Thomas, I need you to take quite a lot of things, actually. I don't want any of that with me. We need one any given time, really. I don't need the rune sword or the flamberge, or either of these rapiers. I'll keep all the rings on me, though.
Gold.
I think that now the best thing to do would be to go to Stonefang.
I thank you, as promised.
Ooh, poison demon, poison cloud. Be a good thing to have. Yeah. Why not? Don't need fire spray because I am intending to go to Stonefang next. Raise defense. That would be.
Bring me more.
I patiently await you. Because I think Flame Lurker will be a slightly easier enemy, slightly easier boss for me to defeat than the man-eaters right now. Oh, I didn't want to come here. I wanted to go here. Down into oh shit. Oh, I survived. Huh. I'm gonna need some souls because I intend to level up my repair everything would probably be good as well. And yes, I can upgrade. No, I can't. Wait, why not? I don't have enough Moonshade Stone shards. I have 2, but I need 6. Ugh. Ugh. I'm also 2 souls short. 2. Ah, well, I do actually know where we can get some of those later in this level, so... Or at least we should be able to get some.
Moons turn shame, then moons turn shard.
Moonstone shame. Oh, damn. Phantom, you were not able to achieve your goal. I forgot those guys hit very hard. Whoa! Now I happen to know that that thing's gonna come and explode. And can kill... Oh, it didn't kill either of them. Damn. more, not moon. Moonstone shame than moonstone shard. Oh shit. There's me reading chat and getting myself killed. There's a fat official in here as well. I may want to cast Water Veil on myself. Right, another piece of the officials set. I think it's down this cave. That there's a cave with lots of crystal lizards in. This is not it. Now, what stones do I have on me? No Moonshade stones. I thought those miner guys resisted slashing damage in the original. Yeah, I think they do. But my my Crescent Falchion is probably doing more magic damage to them at this point than it is slashing damage. That's probably why they're dying very quickly. So they are meant to have like dragon scales, I think, for skin. But yeah, I have a... Hello? Even more stones. Still no moonshade stone. Oh, hello. I want to cast protection on myself. Oh, where's the other one? I want to be careful with these lads, because they're very strong. Bleeding. Okay, that's fine. Right, it makes them a bit more manageable. Hey! Hey! I was picking up your pal's stuff. Oh! Okay. Being cheeky, trying to parry. Ah, come on. Is that a thrust with a club? That's an advanced technique. Well, now you can't block because you haven't got a shield out. Hehehe. Oh, no! I'm gonna miss all of them! What the fuck? God damn it. I got, like, trapped on the scenery. Ah, well. But yeah, this is a good place to get a lot of reinforcement materials. I don't know that there's Moonshade Stone. This is pure Sharpstone and pure Hardstone. And yeah, for some reason the quitting and reloading trick wasn't working in Latria. I wonder if they've just patched that out, or whether I'm misremembering that it never worked in Demon Souls. A lot of things about this remake are making me doubt things I thought I knew about Demon Souls. I'm trying to get some large hardstone myself. I don't actually want to go this way because it'll be difficult. Yeah, no Moonshade Stone. Don't want to be carrying a ton of rocks around with me. Thank you for turning me into a cat. Meow. I'm going to try and get to Flame Lurker the fast way. Oh, look at that multi-kill. They've got nowhere to run. Felt a bit evil. Now, yeah, this is the easier way to get to Flame Lurker. I say easier. Less fighting this way, but it's much easier to die this way. I think I may have already... No, I'm okay. Okay. Yeah, FromSoft decided they really liked this this whole gimmick quite early on. Welcome. Ooh, are those crystal lizards? They are. Clear stone, not what I want. And yes, the man who wants to see the Dragonbone Smasher, I don't think he arrives until the world's in pure white world tendency. I don't think you can get the Dragonbone Smasher until the world's in pure white world tendency either. Oh, I need to catch up on chat. Welcome to the stream, Sarah Spheres, KV2. Telling me a blood birth these souls. There's a dropping tunnel like this in Elden Ring. They're still at it. Imagine the sounds your knees would make during those falls. I don't like to think about it. Now. Yeah, my knees would definitely be creaking. Need to be careful because near the bottom now, but there's a particularly nasty trick I think they pull. I think I'm basically safe now. Basically. See you later. Over here are the hands of God, I think. The item. Greystone shard, greystone shard. Yeah, hands of God. So these are your, like, melee punching weapons. They look really cool, but I don't think I've ever tried playing with them. Oh, hang on. No, I want to put the blade back on there. I want... There we go. So now... You can basically be a boxer. You can parry with these. You can't block. I've never tried a run with them. They seem really hard to use. I would almost certainly get destroyed. Let's see if we can't take on not Dragon God, Flame Lurker. He's one of the designs that I think is really interesting to talk about, because in the trailer for this remake, they showed off Flame Lurker's design, and fans were not happy, and they had to change it to bring it more back in line with the original design. But they only really went, like... They only really went halfway on it, and I'll see if I can find a picture. My model's going to glitch out a little bit whilst I try and find this. Or a good image some time ago. Can't find any good side-by-sides. Thank you for the bonk. It's because I'm looking down. Yeah, I can't find the... I can't find the image. Oh yeah, actually, I can post these myself. Hang on. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, the Flame Lurker is like, you know, he's an important, like, character in the lore of Demon Souls, because I think he's perhaps meant to be the dragon slaying hero who's sort of been transformed and corrupted by the demon plague. He may have been the original wielder of the Hands of God. But Bluepoint tried to turn him into just like a sort of generic demon. Well, yeah, and he is a demon, but they tried to turn him into something that looks much more out of Doom than that image I just found. Yes. Yeah, they tried to make him look, look like something out of World of Warcraft as well. On this computer. Go and save the images. Oh, this is going to be very crunchy because this one's quite small. To add an image. So here's what Flame Lurker looked like in the original. His face is almost sort of melting, like these bars he has over the side of his over his mouth. I always thought it looked like his skin is sort of melting, like it's all like lava. But it could also just as easily be like parts of his like, his muscle or bone or like or little metal struts. It's ambiguous. It's not quite clear. But I always thought Flame Lurker looked really cool. You can definitely see a sort of skull face there and his bared teeth. As you'll see, he looks a little different in the trailer that was shown. And this will be a very crunchy image, I think. You have to bear with me. Yeah, it's going to be extremely crunchy when I blow it up. This is a... this is the concept art for his redesign, and he just looks a lot more sort of like a generic lava creature, which we'll see when we get into the boss fight. But yeah, that's the kind of direction they went in with him, and I think it's just a bit more boring, honestly. Now, that's Water Veil first before I enter into here. The actual flame effects from the original are great as well. They look bright and vivid. Yeah, it looks really like, it looks so hot that you get that sort of like shimmering effect from the air being heated and the light reflecting through it. That's sort of that's how it always looked to me anyway. It doesn't quite have that effect now. The flame effects look impressive and nice, but he doesn't kind of have that glow about him. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, damn. Oh, I do a fair bit of damage to him by casting my spells. Maybe that's the strat for this build. Why isn't that hitting him? Oops, I want this. Ooh. Ah! Oh shit. There we go, down in one. Nice and easy. searing demon soul. Clean sweep. Yeah, I locked in a little bit, so I wasn't talking much throughout that. But yeah, I think they went into the sort of like lava and fire effects a lot more with him, rather than this sort of like searing heat feeling of like, you know, glowing with being sort of made of like red hot metal or something. Yeah, I think that's a tidy place as well for me to end the stream, because my boyfriend just got back and I want to go and eat some pasta. So thank you again for thank you for petting him, the Pepsi dog. Thank you for joining me again. I think I can probably finish Demon Souls on stream. I'm going to keep streaming it. I am having fun talking about it, and you know, like I was saying earlier, I think the core of the game that has survived Bluepoint's art changes is still good. You know, I want to make it clear that I don't hate this game. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's a bad remake. But as a game in and of itself, it's fine. I think my impression of the Soul series would not have been as strong if this had been my introduction to it. Is what I think what I would say. But yes, like you're quite right. I love to be a hater. And when people were saying on Twitter, like, oh, just let people enjoy things. People like this remake, so just let them enjoy things. To that, I would say, let me enjoy things. And the thing I enjoy is being a hater. Thank you for the head pats. Very well timed. Yeah. I will catch you maybe tomorrow. I might wait till Wednesday for another stream though. I hope you all have a lovely week and a lovely evening. Bye bye.